Huh? Huh? What? Where am I? Hello? Hello? Oh, hello? I've never seen bugs on this level before. What the fuck? Get that shit out of here. Where am I? Am I? What if plugins? Hello? Oh, I made it. I thought I was about to be late to my own stream. That would have been embarrassing. Game of Chem empty. Game of Chem is no longer empty. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Welcome back to the game. I accidentally deleted it. I have nothing further to say on the topic. Look, it's the Blue Kingdom Transit Relay. Ding ding. Sippies. The Blue Kingdom Transit Relay. This is the transit relay to and from the Blue Kingdom, a distant region of heaven, still ruled by a sun. If you travel there, it is unwelcoming and uncanny. Thanks to the lack of traffic, many London officials consider this a cushy post. Those stationed here are in good favour with the department. Recall our recent arrival for a relay and the frantic flight that preceded it. Unlocked when the Orphean is, look for supplies and spare parts on your journey. The Orphean recently arrived from a relay in a state of distress, having had to flee the Blue Kingdom. Whatever it was the captain did there, it incensed the local authorities. They pursued you to the relay and tried to close it while you were mid-passage. You barely made it out. What's more, the attempt to close the relay has damaged it. No travel will be possible in either direction until it's repaired. And Peeper's here? You called me Peeper because of the eye thing? You haven't allowed me to scream, skim, skadoobly. Skadoo. Will remain in reach. You turn your engine round. You have business here yet. You put the edifice behind you and head towards the knotted, overgrown tangles of the reach. Occasionally, stars peek through gaps in the celestial undergrowth. No, because you love pee? I don't love pee! Tell me there's something cooler than space train. If you find to be something cooler than a space train, I'll find you a liar. You've returned to the Reach, an untamed sunless span of the heavens. London's new frontier. A celestial garden. Run wild. Was it with British people and bodily fluids? Motherfucker, you're 70% water, you shut the fuck up. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is damaged, and Captain Whitlock is badly wounded. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get the Orphean there safely? Ding. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge you for repairs, a crewmate suggests. The wreck of the Ozymandias. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas, lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil would trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now is not the time. Correct, water, not piss, how do you know? We leap across the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide. The endless fathoms of the heaven gape beneath it. You jump, your stomach lurches with vertigo, as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather-gloved hand fumbles for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch. and you clamber inside. Technically, it's not water, it's pre-piss fluid. You're pre-piss fluid. Our interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. The party's lamps spread buttery light over narrow, panelled passages. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inwards by a well-aimed barrage. You can't glass England. You don't own a nuke. Locate the link. Private users get to work. I'd prefer if a crewmate did not get gemmed with metal. We'll go back out onto the Ozymandias' hull, climb past the blockage, and enter through a window on the far side. Do so carefully. If I lose a crew member from this somehow... Okay. The rest of the boarding party follow you without enthusiasm. You recall the first time you climbed outside an engine, helping the captain fix a leak in the exterior pipe. The wind had shrieked, buffeting at you. You asked the captain what would happen if you slipped. You fall, she answered tersely. But where to? You asked. She looked down and then up, then back. The sky's depth spiraled all around you. Away, she said. And you heard fear. Back in the present, you tumble back into the Ozymandias, through the shattered window. Your party spilling after you, teeth chattering, eyes wide with that familiar terror. You're not going to go and get about 200 nukes, though, are you? You've reached the Ozymandias' hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully, somewhere amidst the detritus, you can find parts to repair the Orpheon and restock your stores. We'll conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies, and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the Orpheon. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. Oh! Cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered bird cage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchange nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies, and discovered some useful equipment, a gun that could be mounted to your locomotive, and an educated Chirione. We'll mount the Jerusalem cannon to the Orpheon. Her own weapons were damaged during your flight from the Blue Kingdom. That leaves you vulnerable. The Cottrell and Half-Sage Jerusalem. Fire single shells at a good range, more or less accurately. You order two of your party to get it back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Ozymandias groans again. The structure shudders spasmodically. What gun? What caliber? Did Rheinmetall make it? No, Cottrell and Half-Sage. We shall liberate a different bat and employ it as a scout. Heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts, like bats, to locate things of interest, ports, resources, wrecks. Like this one, to scavenge. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You have to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. Okay. You retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive and an educated bat. I'll press on to the engine room. Might find more fuel there, but you'd better hurry. The Ozymandias is beginning to tear apart. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches as its metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuddering corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. I'll go myself and conduct a hasty search. Send the rest of the boarding party back to the Orpheon, gone alone. Nice. The wrecked engines are choked with old ash. You search swiftly, aware of every creak in the bulkhead, every tremble that runs through the dead locomotive. Finding several sacks of coal, you drag them to an exterior hatch and fling them across to the Orpheon, before leaping after them. Unshackling your locomotive from the Ozymandias, you stoke your engines and steam away. You start refueled, repaired, and rearmed. That was about the best that could have gone. You love being a scout, you're a bet. That's cheery. Diffident bet. Its opinion is clear. Go out there. In this weather? Thank you, but no. Summoned by Captain Whitlock. Walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin, like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. You found something? You did? Good scout. Head pat, head pat. Inquire after the captain's injuries. The locomotive's doctor attends her. His lips are tight. A word of living fire pursued the Orphean across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach, and set its brand upon the captain. It burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, could see the sign, see into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs too. The captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There is nothing the doctor can do. Okay, we'll approach the bedside. The captain opens her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. 5 main battery out of the space? Invisible entities are within? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires with dents on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. But promise. She breaks off to scream, a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker. Her request a little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service. Promise. We'll promise her that we'll obey her last command. Whatever it is, we'll see it done. She sinks back, relieved. All in my will, she gasps. Be better. She breaks off with the sigil to burn into her bones flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Better captain than I. The effort exhausts her. She sinks back into the scorched pillows, and a twisting, frantic fever. This is the sci-fi version of I cast magic missile in the darkness while I fire the cannon into the darkness. Also, hello, y'all. We take your leave. You have an engine to command. Of business. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air behind, and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you'd like, and the captain hasn't long left. Wink. There we go. Captain must be relieved of duty. Ready's your Webley? We did just relieve the captain of duty. We're basically in control now. We're under attack. I told you firemen count. We did. Don't you worry about it. The Reach Marauder is defeated. You prepare to board with a buckled wreckage poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. We'll raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and haunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Your boarding party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe, to be pawned when, if, you make it back to port. It's fine, I'm sure we'll find a lovely port soon enough. Hang on, how come I couldn't see that? But I just realized my microphone was in the way, but I totally saw that because of stream delay. Kenton Kari. The Kenton Kari are lumbering half-fossilized isopods will attack anything they disapprove of. Given that they are very ancient and murderously grumpy, that means almost everything. The corpse of the Kenton Kari has been neatly sheared, creating a clear cross-section of its internal arrangement. If only we had canning equipment. Retrieve a stony organ, or perhaps gain sovereigns, or prize precious stones from its carapace. Sometimes, clusters of jasper, tourmaline, or agate can be found embedded in the calcified plates. Partial success. All the more awful things. Holding the creature alongside your locomotive, you deploy hammers with pry bars. There. Valuable stones glimmer amidst walls of uncanny fossils. The fossil shapes are sinuous and predatory. Preserved for unknown aeons in the Kenton Kari stony skin. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Especially you, Eli. There's no Eli here. Struggling with making a world map for D&D? That's completely understandable. World maps were never my forte. That's why I didn't create a world this time around. A space roly-poly's coming for you, huh? Mountains suck, mountains are not easy. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot and the steam of Wolseley Station. It's clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers, gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. You request to come aboard. "I must speak to your captain," he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the Orphean's doctor. He's just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat's in his hand. He lowers his eyes. You exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. "Oh," he says neutrally. "Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad." He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. "Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. Captain Whitlock is deceased. The station authority required answers from the first officer." He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. "You're relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall I begin?" What realism is just looking at the world map, seeing how certain things look and shape between continents and such. Right now, you're co-writing a setting. We're getting some D&D campaigns from here on out. I kinda did that. Road Polly is named some weird Americans call woodlice? Which are isopods. The one you just shot. Huh. That's a really stupid name for isopods. Sheep, how am I supposed to spend all these channel points? I don't... Look, I used to have the pain things active, but for a more narrative-driven experience, I've turned them off so that I'm not being like bludgeoned by slapping sounds in case anyone's getting immersed, you know? Isopods have hundreds of common names, completely understandable. Also call them pillbugs. You like bludgeoning me? Perhaps some other stream. But I just don't want to disturb the flow of narrative, so. In case anyone's like super enjoying it, you know. Besides, I need to come up with some new redeem ideas. I don't really have any idea of what to do. I'll probably just copy Sabelle. I'm cheaper. Okay. We use the same stuff we did before. We're with the Fisher Kings. A street urchin who's seeking wealth. We are... Captain. Cheaper. We have a nice hat. Ponytail hat. normalish looking brown. Nose. We got a chin too. Oh yeah, that's definitely cheaper. Puppy Seb? Understandable. Definitely gonna. Gonna take cheaper skirt off? I don't wear a skirt yet. Need to spend these points? Just hoard, like every good wealthy person do. Sam's gonna do what Sam does, and Sam has the skirt redeem. I don't have legs under these legs. I mean, sure, you can go ahead and remove the skirt. There you go, you've done it. Well, you did it. Woo. 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to the necropolis train, bound for the serene mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives and the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. In a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orpheon was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry grey eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orpheon's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at the time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card, and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orpheon is yours. We're in Wolseley Station, the clambering central station of New Winchester, a place of steam and smut thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for skilled captain services. I want it so badly. I want that ship so badly. I just realized how much fuel that doesn't consume. That's actually really good. Monarch-class liner, an infernal beast of breath and steam, furnished with indulgent luxury, with carpet thick enough to lose your toes in. That's the train that we want. The escort is also good. This will be the one we super duper want. The Pelennor-class trader. Steam and smut named for your sexy steampunk photo shoot. Can you look sexy in steampunk? Recruiting cautious driver. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter. The driver indicates a crashed engine still smoking. Why not? Without screaming. I've never seen anyone look sexy in steampunk. Lost respect? Culp. What harm can it do? Brave or fearless, the driver boards, eager to get started. Recently parted ways with a Windward company. They explain. Personally, I think a crash a week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh well, live and learn. Okay. An opportunity. The fastidious inspector. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowd towards you. She's short and square-shouldered, in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you a case of her pocket watch. It's embossed with the crown and hourglass of London's horological office, the body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the empire. Open a book, passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Offer her passage. Pay does sound promising. 50 sovereigns is in fact promising. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. Chief engineer's fault, I suspect. Gentleman fonder of brandy vinegar for diligence. Here, an initial sum to seal our bargain. Prosper lies to the north-northeast of New Winchester. Okay. No tire on crew, don't need to explore our ambition. The smoggy, clanking, singing, stamping, thronging, frantic heart of a reach. Never-expanding port of soot-smudged glass, bright steel, spilling across a drifting, miswrapped archipelago. Its factories thunder, its engine sheds will ring with hammers and hiss with steam. Locomotives chug into sidings for repair, or flare across the sky and away into the high wilderness. We could learn about trading, but it's really not really much. An opportunity to learn about trading. Successful skyfarers fund their expeditions by dabbling in trade. Inquire whether there are any good trading opportunities available. On a petal trail, a porter at the station advises you to visit a nearby pub with a promise of days, and talk to the seasoned captains there. They keep their ear to the ground, don't know a thing about an opportunity or two. Okay. We'll visit the Promise of Days then. A club where seasoned captains gather to trade stories and share advice with younger skyfarers. Old pistons gleam on the walls, the shelves are crowded with mementos from across the sky. The clientele raise their voices to be heard above the comforting clamour of the adjacent engine yards. You may find helpful advice here. Introduce ourselves to the seasoned captains. They're always happy to offer words of advice, sometimes many words. Or are gathered at their usual table, the masked citizen, a libertine polymath, and pioneer of the neo-nocturnal artistic school, for the devil diadact, a scholar haunted by his discoveries, of a plucky baroness, explorer, collector, philatelist, and a spatchcocker Meg, who hunts monsters. Of course, everything out here is jolly dangerous, says the baroness. Few risk the skies, so news of distant ports is valuable. Collect port reports from places you visit, and deliver them to Victory Hall or Company House. The more you turn in at once, the more they'll pay. Look for other opportunities on the way, advises the masked citizen. Passengers who want transport, rich men in need of bloody work, etc. Ask them how to make your fortune through trade. We know they've carried nerve-wracking gemstones from Lutheria, souls to the Blue Kingdom, and raw hours to London. Have they tips? Ah, the diadact says, fiddling with his innumerable talismans, an essential topic. Meg slides you a stool, and the captain shuffles around to make room. The masked citizen buys you a drink of her own invention. It's violet and foggy. The plucky baroness gives you a brisk, encouraging grin. Ask away. Ask about markets. How can you buy and sell goods? You can sell practically anything, anywhere at a big... It's water tapping time. What happens when I show up to streams drunk? You can sell practically anything at a big trade hub like New Winchester, the Baroness answers. If you want to buy, though, you'll need to travel to more distant port. It specializes in a particular export. Meg spits chewing tobacco on the floor. No money in buying at market prices and selling them too, though. You're on the look for bargains, or prospects people offering better money. Buy cheap, sell dear. Okay. Where am I to learn about opportunities? My citizen sips their drink. The biggest port in each region has a bazaar where captains do business. There you'll learn of people at other ports prepared to pay over the odds for a commodity. When you accept a commission for a prospect, it's yours. No other captain will pursue it. It's all fantastically civilized. Their smile is droll. You'll have to source the goods for yourself, of course, says the bedeviled diadact. Find a port that exports them. The clients will want a certain amount. You can supply some or all of it. You provide all they need. They may furnish you with an additional reward. A trading opportunity. if they know of any good prospects available. In point of fact, I do, says the masked citizen, tapping an elegant finger on that elegant glass. The host at Megland needs an urgent delivery of seeds. Paying a pretty penny, too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away, put my mark against it. Meg grunts. Broken Port Avon sound cheap seeds. Chappy chap, God knows why. His face looks like it's been pushed through a mangle. An opportunity. Port Avon lies to the east of New Winchester, and Megland lies to the north-northwest of New Winchester. Good to know. Ask about bargains. Where can you buy goods cheaply? Spatchcock and Meg wipes beer foam from her lips. No way this busy. Deals are snapped up too fast here. Visit the bazaars at quiet ports. Find all sorts, limit supply mind. A bargain won't hang around forever, though, the Baroness confides, steadfastly ignoring Meg's manners. So don't hang about. If you space in your hold, snap 'em up. You can always sell them at a major port for an adequate return. Okay. Ask about how to expand the prospects and bargains available to you. How to put this delicately, is there perhaps a way that a resourceful captain could prejudice circumstances in their favour? Meg laughs, a noise like a sneeze crossed with a ricochet. Ain't who you is, so you know innit? Nepotism. She taps her broken nose. Quite, the masked citizen remarks. The wider your circle, the more advantageous the opportunities that will present themselves. A wise captain makes the most of them. As your captain increases in your affiliations, in level, your affiliations increase. Okay. Impeding your establishment ability, they will unlock more rewarding bargains and prospects. Oh, cool. Change the subject. You've heard enough for now. Go elsewhere. You've no further business here. Can we do this event already? The driver has no tolerance for uneventful voyages. When not on duty, they stare through the stained glass windows, as if willing excitement to ride in on a wave of disaster. When they take the wheel, the rest of the crew grip the nearest available supports and whisper quiet prayers to various gods. Gamble with the incautious driver. Rumour not intended for your ears suggests the driver is running an illicit poker game in hold. You enter the hold and find the game well underway. The driver sits cross-legged in front of a pile of freshly won sovereigns and 3 newly impoverished members of the crew. A stoker angrily throws an expensive-looking watch onto the pile of winnings and departs in fury. The driver looks up. Captain, care to make a wager? The driver deals the cards between the players. The cook, the crewmen whose name he can't place at the moment, watch each other with barely disguised suspicion. Behind you, a small crowd gathers to see their captain's coin. Step away from the game, that's enough of that. The remaining crew around the circle relax as you stand to leave. The driver shuffles the cards, ready to begin the next round. Let the game continue. The crew needs a break, this is harmless enough. The driver nods to you, idly scratching an ear, just for a moment. You spot something green winding around their finger. Gotta converse with the incautious driver. They keep scratching their ears, even while driving. A nervous tick, or perhaps a sickness that might spread amongst the crew. What? Oh, yeah. The driver scratches again. Nothing, just a little earache. Sure, it comes and goes. Their knee trembles from the frustration of being pulled away from the wheel for even this short conversation. See? All fine now. I'm going to order a visit to the doctor. The efficiency of your crew cannot be allowed to slide. Not necessary, the driver protests, scratching at their ear with renewed force. A look of pain flashes over their face for a moment. Perhaps, my family knows of a specialist in New Winchester. Think father owns the building. Think I can call in a favour? Well, guess where we are right now. Will the city escort the incautious driver to their family doctor? A silver plaque on the door bearing only a name indicates this is the address of New Winchester's most exclusive practice. I guess we leveled up off that. An immediate appointment. While the doctor conducts her examination of a driver rescue to update their old records with their current employment, you take a moment's pleasure in the driver's ridiculous middle name and pass over the field on gender, straightforwardly crossed out. Their address was less than eyebrow-raisingly prestigious, New Winchester Townhouse. You omitted to name of your locomotive. Ah, the doctor says, peering into the driver's ear. Case of urgency. Fungal colonization of the brain. Not common in the reach. You noticed uncharacteristic impulses, changes in behavior? She eyes the driver's sky suit and scars. The driver nods. Yeah, it spores root deeply into the brain. Attempts to extract them have had less than satisfactory results. I'm afraid the best prescription is to entertain him. Take him where they want to go. See the things they want to see. Typically, a little trap does the job. I'll soon lose interest. Okay. What's an immediate level up we can take? Let's do things differently this time around. It was scarred. You came close that day to death, and it left its mark. It was as if it nearly killed you. An attempt on your life. There's a bullet scar beside your heart. You've learned since to be more judicious of your choice of friends. Or an engine accident. A breached pipe, a jet of scalding steam. You spent a week on the brink, trapped in boiling dreams. The scars are still livid on your skin. Actually, let's do this one. An interlude in red and gold. You lost your mind once. It put you in a splendid hotel managed by cheery gentlemen who would determine when you could leave. How colourful the other guests were, how red the curtains, how gold the fittings, how secure the locks. Eventually you were allowed to leave. But was your recovery genuine? No, you just learned to lie. You just said what you had to, and they sent you home. Even now your world is red and gold, and splendid. I'm a little bit crazy. Doot doot. Okay. Port Avon's to the east. Magdalene's is to the northwest, was it? We didn't take the opportunity for trade. I love how you sort of drift. Very satisfying. Oh, a scrubbed clerk begs a moment of your time. I represent Howard's banking ass. I promise to only take a moment of your unquestionably valuable time. He produces a folded contract with a flourish. We have promising things about you, Captain. Very promising indeed. I'd like to extend our services. We provide a secure solution for storage of your assets. Absolute discretion and steadfastness unto death and beyond. We require only a signature. Sign our name. The offer is entirely complimentary, I assure you. At Howard's, measure ourselves by the quality of our clientele. Thankful. So this represents the beginning of a long and warm relationship between ourselves and your lineage. May enjoy. I'll bid you good day, Captain. Okay, this time. Ooh, Carillon. Interesting. Giving me Carillon as a location, Ollie. That's a place I can go to drive myself insane. And I'm sure there's some related quest to it. We don't need to stop here. Okay. Just realised I didn't pull up my stream in the background. How am I supposed to log for myself and give myself moderating? Must be condensation trails across the sky, the ghosts of passing trains. Okay, see to Magdalene's. Magdalene's lies to the north-northwest. North-northwest. It's important to find Magdalene's early. because they can remove your terror. My mouth just doesn't like to move on this, but I don't think there's a problem with my mouse. I think there's a problem with the software that I haven't quite narrowed. If I didn't call it out just then, no one would notice, by the way. Speaking of noticing... Any second here. Woo! You prepare to board the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder for plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. The victor was spoiled. The crew of the marauder lie dead in the corridor, killed not by your guns, but by knives and small arms fire. The only survivor is the captain, locked in a brig with a bottle of brandy. Chalk eyes stare back from every blow. When he ran out of chalk, he began scraping them with his fingernails. Little remains of him were bloodied stumps. Seen as before, Captain, says a crew member, grasping your arm. Scar madness. Macklins can treat it, if you be bothered to take port side. The high wilderness is cruel. This could easily be you one day. Bring the poor fellow aboard. The crew wrap the sky-maddened captain in a blanket and secure them tightly with belts. It takes 4 to transport him safely to your locomotive. You might not be happy restrained, but it should keep him from harm until you get him to Magdalene's. Magdalene's lies to the north-northwest of New Winchester. With the captain secured, you have a moment to see whether there's anything of worth on the locomotive before abandoning it to the wilderness. You prepare to board the buckled wreckage. Loot hold, some of it's even intact. A faintly luminescent cage, light burns from within. What could it be? A silver idol rests inside the cage. 4 wings extend from its hunched shoulders. Made from moonstone, the navigator says in a hushed voice, to amplify the light of the stars. Interesting. Bracelar's Folly? It's a space lighthouse. Orders prowl these dim groves in defiance of nearby New Winchester. I've sent something up here. Hopefully it's not eels. Cautious driver, is that? No, it's slightly different from the one I crashed into. Settlers who live so far beyond the edge of civilization relish in the hardships of solitude. They will fiercely defend their small territories, but occasionally welcome company or trade. Here's an abandoned homestead. Its roof sagged. Its windows empty of glass. For every settler that makes a life for themselves in reach, another is lost. Such the abandoned homestead, perhaps they left something behind. Oh, wow. You find bottles of homemade wine in the cellar. Pots of meat pickling. Under by the soil on the doorstep. And salvageable tools in an overgrown shed. What is treasures? That could mean the difference between life and death if your fortune's turn. Okay. But I guess they're dead. And we don't know what killed them. Probably for marauders. No way we're immediately on another one, though. Way, I guess. There's another empty one. With another success. With another supplies. Huh. Feels very strange, man. It's worth it to go completely on the outside of the terrain in order to, like, map it out. Because you never know if they're going to build something into the terrain like Bracelar's Folly, which you just didn't fly close enough to and don't get the XP for. Also, it's not like we're in a supply situation right now. Wonder if sailors really suffered from a lot of, like, madness problems in real life. A stopped clock. The fastidious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I noticed your ship's clock had stopped. Have you permit me to repair it? Just a little case of tools, and a hopeful expression. I'll permit it. You prefer things to go right more than twice a day. She gives a grateful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has her back off the clock and has spread tiny cogs across the galley table. Obscure horological tools gleam brassily among them. Everything has a place. Appreciate the opportunity to keep myself busy. Staring too long at the stars is harmful to the temperament. You mean you go crazy? The fastidious inspector has a round face, brown eyes, and short dark hair. She gives the impression of being perpetually busy. We shall inquire about her work. What are the duties of an agent of the horological office? She sniffs. It's of fundamental importance that 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in one corner of the Empire occurs at the same time as 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in the opposite corner. How does the Empire to function if it can't agree what day it is? Unfortunately, the process is complicated by the fact that time is less reliable than it was. The hours trade has seen to that. You hope the balance wheel ain't broke, or the train bridge? What do you mean? Those bits can royally fuck up your clock? How do you know all this about clocks? Ask about news of London. And sits in her coat of smoke. Courtiers squabble at the foot of the throne of ours. Open to receiving endowments a year. Meanwhile, hard-working civil servants labour to ensure everything runs as it should. Was there a touch of archness there? Always normal. I miss it though. No city like London, all the skies. And Albion is very different from the Reach. Much more civilised. Watch a dude on YouTube who fixes watches? That sounds like relaxing content. She'll discuss the Reach, the wide, wild frontier. A sunless domain, but impossibly verdant. With gargantuan vines, cathedral-sized brownwoods, and livid fungal archipelagos. That's an uncouth splendour, but I miss Albion. Steady lighted clockwork sun. These sunless reaches are so misty and quiet. She pauses. But critical. The territories here are rich with raw hours, and enough vegetation grows on them to feed the whole of London. Even if some of it is dubious shape. Chat no comment. Ask about the hours trade. I've heard the Empress awards her favourites with gifts of years to extend their lives, and that you can become rich mining for hours to satisfy London's hunger for them. Oh, hours have more uses than that. Use them to increase the efficiency of work worlds, to speed journeys to distant regions, to resolve overcrowding in prisons. It does make my life more difficult when time knots and stretches like wool on the loom. More difficult, but more vital. Her Majesty seized a great trove of them when she assumed the throne of ours. And now, even more have been found in reach. Miners dig them from the ground. She looks momentarily wistful. I hope someday to retire with a modest pension of years myself, to prolong the better part of my retirement. Okay. Ask about the war. The Reach is torn by discontent between London loyalists and the more independent settlers. Well, there are those who feel that London's a long way away and that they do a better job of governing themselves. Frontier taxed independent spirits. We call them techies, for the hobnail boots they're so practical out here. London unsurprisingly disagrees. When Company earnestly represents Her Majesty's interest in the region. Sometimes very earnestly indeed. Techies call London's loyalists stovepipes, for our hats, I suppose. She avoids looking at you. And you, Captain, where do your sympathies lie? You feel no loyalty to either side. Perhaps you'd rather be left alone, or perhaps you're undecided. Perhaps you see the conflict as an opportunity. What a remarkable indulgence, she remarks, with a raised eyebrow. Is there more to be said under any of these? The Reach? Oh, there was suns. What happened to the Reach's sun? And London's had a man-made sun. How did Her Majesty defeat the Ultimate? Well, we warred and we won. It's not my area of expertise, I'm afraid. Sun's made the Lord, I say. Now Her Majesty makes it. As for the Reach's sun, she looks through the window at the lightless starring mists. I don't know. The suns grow old? Did they die of natural causes? I think that'd probably be better than the alternative, wouldn't it? Compliment her skills. Her hands are deft and sure. She polishes, she cleans, she reassembles. Thank you, she says. A small embarrassed silence. It's possible the inspector is pleased. It's rather hard to tell. Bid her good evening. And to you, Captain. I think I shall make a cup of tea. Leaf water. I'm not too fond of tea. My kind of drink is soft and... I've just, like, mentally convinced myself within a matter of a second to get boba. I'm going to do that the second my mum gets home. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm buying boba. I miss tapioca, baby. I had this really nice one that had, like, apple jelly bits in it. And it was just kind of delicious. Too many balls now. It's a wreck of the Sapper Rose. The wreck gleams with frost. Its windows are dark, its engine silent. Perhaps something of value lies within. One for dead. It is proper. A simple ceremony. Doth camps a few words of gloomy silence, but it helps. The only decency in the skies is that we bring ourselves. Ugh. Didn't see any of these yesterday. That is not a scout. That's the host. I remember these things being gross and horrible. Come on, come on, come on. That is a train no more. Oi! Come on. Bow out. You're basically finished already. Hi. We could afford to overload the engines a bit there. Their stolen home bursts open under your gunfire. Thousands of wriggling guests spill into the night, glistening like the ooze from a blister after it was lanced. Your blasts have ripped open one of the crew quarters. Revealed insides have pustules of nascent guests hang from the wall. Continue your bombardment. Excessive, perhaps, but satisfying. Your guns thunder, reducing the writhing guests to a spray of pulp. Your crew cheer. The guests are a regular actor in Skyfarer's nightmares. A daily check for foot-long eyeless slug things is conducted on most engines. It only takes one for an infestation to begin. Ugh. No wonder everyone's being driven mad. This is a world where that can just happen to your locomotive. Seeing that one of the actions was to capture the guests is a little bit disturbing. But nevertheless, I'm definitely going to do it when I get a high enough skill check to make sure that my ship doesn't die. Perkins copes. I hear Magdalene's.
Hour.
Hour? Hi, Sentai. Hello, Meg Raiders. Welcome in. Let me give you a quick little sneaky little sheepy little shout out. Yeah, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. How did destroying London go? I mean, saving London go? I mean, destroy London. But yeah, this is Sentai. This is a good little friend. Love Sentai so much. We're also married. We're definitely married. It's legal, it's legal. Sheep, if we were to destroy the UK, we'd give you notice, of course. I'm not leaving. I'm gonna rebuild it as sheep owned. Ah. Ah, fuck. Ah. I'm sheeper. You're sheeper, so you're married to Sentai? Is that how that works? I'm so proud. Aw. Fresh hours. Get 3 hours here. A buoyant broker sells barrels full of geode-like hours, dug fresh from the shapely flanks of Motherland Mountains. By rugged but well-mannered prospectors, he cries. Come to your ears, my dears, and hear him call. I'll take him. I'm sheeper. I'm sheeper. It's a little guy raid. But you're sheeper? No, I'm sheeper. Well, come on in, though. We're playing this lovely, lovely little game. I'm Don Cheeto. The House of Small Comforts. Magdalene's is the closest thing many Skyfarers have to a home. It offers services to alleviate the strain of life spent too close to the stars. Let's say hypothetically. I was to leave a comment for algorithm purposes. Let's say hypothetically, I'm sheeper. How can I possibly not be a sheeper? You're not sheeper. I'm sheeper. I'm right here, and I'm sheeper. Magdalene's House of Small Comforts. The glass spires of Magdalene's pierce the clouds like swords. Shadowed figures can be seen moving through the gleaming corridors, their identities obscured by the hued glass. Crowds of Skyfarers, ministry officials, and merchants mill around the forecourt, in varying degrees of distress. All watch the clock set in the great clock tower, waiting for their appointed hour. We'll deliver the Skyman captain, rescued him from defeated Marauder. Here, he can get help. Level up! The nurses bring out a stretcher to carry the Skymaiden captain from your train. You'll receive care from Magdalene's finest. At least, Magdalene's finest with a sense of charity, given that he has nothing on him to pay for their ministrations. He got lazy and just copied the comment you made in the Sheeper video. Completely understandable. By the way, you should go sub to William Sheeper on YouTube and see his VODs. Yeah, you should sub to William Sheeper on YouTube to see all of the VODs. Except for the ones that are boring. Are you hypothetically cute or just cute in general? I'm both. What about Cheery though? I don't know that Cheery has a YouTube that has anything on it. Okay. I'm definitely into getting more mirrors and stealth thingy. I think hearts are... You have a YouTube with all your VODs on it? That's Pog! Deprived now until you feel ready? Understandable. Oh, hi, Cosita. You're not late? You're not late, you're perfect. Well, come on in. Below stairs, the comforts of a well-to-do household rely on the scurrying, grinding work of its servants. You know that firsthand. You dealt with the matters your masters couldn't be troubled with, like cleaning and cooking and parenting. But how loyal were you? You kept their secrets. Every family had them, some grander and darker than others. Your silence had value. Ford? Nah. Not my best bear. Not even a good bear, that was an okay bear. The Oniric Chambers treat your nightmares. For some cases of sleepless nights, lust and formless terror, of persistent night terrors and elusive dreams, more severe treatments are required. It's a good bear? Hey, y'all calling me a good bear? On stream right now? In the somber chambers of red and gold painted glass, for worst failings of the heart are treated. An attendant waits to take your details and your payment. He asks only you request the name of the person you wish to treat you. Since I was in fact aimed? You know all this? I don't need to treat my nightmares. The soulless chambers treat your terror. The skies are full of terrible wonders. All skyfarers see more than they should when they sail the sunless sky. The sound of soft laughter and the occasional sob echoes through the stained glass walls of the treatment chambers. An attendant sits guard before the door. Oh, I just need to ask for the particulars. We'll always alleviate your fears, but methods at your discretion. Awa. Chirione, thank you for the gift, sir. It went to Kara. That's adorable. Kara's gonna be so happy. She bring me Bruce, I'm gonna go take a nap. My arms are right here, baby. You just come and give us a snuggle. Don't worry about nothing. What's the high Wendigo? We don't need to treat any terrors, but we can treat them with a lot. Meglin's house of small comforts. We'll write a port report. Meglin's is a popular destination. Someone will no doubt be interested to know how things here are, and who has been seen here. Meglin's is abuzz with activity. Barely has the clock chimed when a clamour goes up from the front desk. Guests rushing to and from appointments. Lord, someone was seen in conversation with the amiable host. The East Wing was closed for general access all day. A certain distinguished admiral was seen with his second in command entering one of the chambers of regret. Several guests succumbed to an excess of sentimentality and were forcibly removed. Got a port report. We'll speak with an attendant. The staff at Meglin's promised treatments for the deleterious effects of the high wilderness. Loneliness, desperation, folly, regret, love. An attendant in the foyer schedules appointments with the aid of a hefty daybook and a very accurate clock. They're eager to explain the procedures and the rules that will govern here. It's a hospital for the spirit. Our staff will become the person you need. Here, you may say farewell to a doomed comrade, resurrect an old love, spar with a defeated enemy, all for a fair price. Do not overindulge our services. Dare to heal, not become an addiction. Let's meet with the amiable host. The founder and master of ceremonies at Meglin's has requested you by name. An attendant escorts you through dazzling violet corridors. The host's red door is always open. Who messaged me on Steam? I was invited to Divinity Original Sin 2. No. The host's red door is always open. The attendant leaves you just as the clock begins to chime. The amiable host reclines on a couch of crushed velvet, a goblet of sparkling wine in his long fingers, somewhere in the tower above him. The great clock ticks away, as the policy of the host's atrium is always open to guests. He is available to hear opinions, friendly criticism, and suggestions. Today, he has a headache. Listen to his request. He beckons you close. His voice is soft and sibilant, like a butter melting in candlelight. A guest has become rather too attached to a particular attendant. He always requests the same attendant appear in the exact same guise. The amiable host's lip curls in distaste. He reiterates the aim of Meglin's, a place for healing and respite. It was not meant to feed obsessions of self-indulgent self-loathing. His guest brings sickness. I would have him purged. I have a dossier on our guest, if you're interested in helping. Okay. I'll take the, Lachrymose guest's dossier. The amiable host has requested help in removing a customer who is blurring the boundaries of healer and patient. The amiable host smiles indulgently. I'm glad you wanted to help. He produces a thin sliver of pages and passes them to you. I'd recommend taking on a role of one of our attendants. That way, you'll be playing the role of someone significant to him. The amiable host sighs, reaching for his goblet. He knows all of our attendants by voice now. Someone new is needed. Okay, wait, do we actually have any, law on this? Sorry, that was the clock. It was distracting my brain. My brain. That's just a poor report. People yelling outside because school just ended. Journal. Do we have the dossier? No, we don't actually have a dossier of papers. We'll deal with the Lachrymose guest. He stands on the threshold of the treatment chambers. His hands are trembling. The attendants on duty have been informed about your involvement. How do you plan to deal with him? A treatment chamber has been emptied for you, should you wish to adopt a guise from his past. Alternatively, he is standing right there. He does not seem to have noticed you. His eyes instead boring through the doors of the treatment rooms. I remember we disguised ourselves as his mother last time. She drove him apart once. An attendant will help you with the wig, and the makeup, and over with the voice. The Ramble's being released, that's what it's like, yeah. Just like the faded Guerra type. Down to the teeth. You gnash your jaws reflexively. The Lachrymose guest's eyes widen as he enters your chamber. This is a mistake, I didn't ask for this. You never do you? You get to work. When it's over, you doubt he will be returning here ever again. Observe guests going in for treatment. Some smile, others weep. One lady has a terrible gleam in her eye. Another, a recording device. An attendant shakes her head as a merchant in a threadbare suit waves at her. She walks away, face set in a slight frown. The trader flushes, aware he has breached the social covenant of Magdalene's. Okay, we'll speak with the amiable host. Better for worse, he will not be returning to Magdalene's. The Lachrymose guest is gone. The amiable host smiles artificially. Of course, my staff will be pleased. It's a risk of our trade when the clients can no longer separate identity and illusion. It's seldom pleasant. He sighs deeply, echoing around the chamber like a newly freed dove. It's a trap that any of us could fall into. His face darkens briefly. Here, take this. He fishes around beneath his couch for one of his goblets. It'll fetch a pretty price. Take it, with my thanks, and do visit us again. Is there more? Remember there was another quest. He is melancholy today, not to mention irritable. He has a job for you, he says, his voice rich with unhappiness. I admired your discretion earlier, he sighs. You've seen the dangers of our work upon those who abuse our service, yet we're not immune to it ourselves. He draws your attention to several paintings on the walls. My regulars have at various points requested that I be a prospector on Lustrum, heir to a fine house in Port Prosper, and a titan of industry on New Winchester. Very specific requests, and more. I have vivid memories of being all free. Yet all cannot be true, surely. He presses a locket into your hand. This bears my image. See if anyone remembers me. I Can't remember who I was before this. So if I could be other than I am, I'd like to know. Base amiable host talking about parasocial relationships. The idea of Magdalens is really intriguing. It's a place where people put on a performance to help other people cope with their terror and nightmares. Like, if you've lost, in this game, a crewman, you can come here and you can be like, I need a treatment for my terror. Who would you like us to disguise as? A crewman aboard my ship. And then, like, the event plays out as the crewman comes out, and they're like, no, Captain, it wasn't your fault. You did the best in the circumstances. Like, it's LARPing therapy. See any more? An elderly grand dame is haranguing an attendant. Yeah, but where's my husband? Gentleman was most assuredly not he. Hushed murmuring follows, interrupted by a loud cry. No, I did not misunderstand the rules. He's joined your staff. Is that the only event here? Oh, a trio of guests is going in together, all dark-haired and straight-backed. Yes, I know it's not the real thing, but I'd like a sense of closure, the tall woman says. What rot? Barks a short woman next to her. We don't argue over the will again. I've told you once, I am not giving up the spoons based on a charlatan say-so. Do be quiet, please, the one man says. I, for one, am more than happy to hear again why I was lumbered with the third best wardrobe. Okay. It's just very intriguing. Those people are going in to, like, solve a property dispute or, like, a will or something. So they're going to have, like, a dead person talk to them and be like, yeah, no. You deserved it. Why did you get so little in the will? Because, and then improvises the truth. It's interesting, because, like, this game wants you to take a lot of stuff seriously. Munitions? That was worth jetting some supplies. This isn't. Oh, slightly doinked. Doink. Now, because you spend so much money on spirit mediums, Karen. I had this idea for, like, writing a book one day, where it was like, a spirit medium that literally has the power of doing, like, ghost stuff, but the ghosts are literally, like, fucking with him, and just saying, my name starts with G, it starts with G, G, G. It's like, my name, then the ghost's name starts with a G. You have a video, can you share it? Is it Warhammer related? The crew of this weathered engine had been driven mad by the winds and the stars, and the things that haunt the sky. Perhaps the engine was transporting something valuable when the crew succumbed to star madness. A solid crate, stamped and carefully sealed, as heavy as a dead man's weight. A gun sniffs just before the lid is wrenched open. Gunpowder, they assert, before assuming responsibility for the opening. Once the lid has been carefully prized off, the crate's gleaming arsenal of ammunition, sealed powders, and callous weaponry is laid bare. This will fetch a handsome price. The heavens do not lack for murderers. There's a Warhammer one. I'm not watching it then. Continue. But also a non-Warhammer one. I mean, maybe. Depending on its contents, I probably won't be watching it live though. What is this? Is this one of those videos I think it is? Do I recognize this? I'm thumbing through. I think I recognize these videos. Is this the... like... Is this the dude who always does those videos where he's fucking around and there's that, like, woman who's always, like, antagonizing him or he's antagonizing her? Yeah, I probably still won't watch it on stream though. It's 1 minute 25. If you got any memes in the future to share, chat, I'd recommend saving it for the Finn and Sheeper podcast. The podcast. Quotation marks. What's the trading opportunity? Port Haven lies to the east of New Winchester. Okay. So we'll make our way to the east of New Winchester. The Sin and Feeper show? That's definitely ain't it. Oh, I must say, Frontier. It's another abandoned homestead. With another success. 2 crates of nostalgic crockery. You have any idea how rare crockery is in the sky? One of the rarest resources there is. Sorry if you guys can hear the ambulance going up the road. Not as sorry as I am for the poor fucker who might be dead though. I woke up a couple of nights back and I looked out my window because I heard some sirens. And I just saw this full-on police convoy just like driving. Like car after car after car just driving up the road taking the same turn. I just rolled back over and just closed my eyes and was just like, eh. Nothing to do with me. Port Haven lies to the east of New Winchester. Okay. Trapisto's Hurry. Which is a place that doesn't exist until you've done the little tutorial segment. Huh. I think Finn has kind of a thing for Warhammer, so he'd probably want to watch that video too. I think, sadly, Finn has a thing for Warhammer. Sorry, it's just so easy to bully Warhammer fans. I like to tease him. Thus, the incognito princess, perched up a mounted luggage, is a radiant young woman. She acts as first officer, which we can get one. But she's an officer dressed in what an actor would wear in a fantastical romance. A tiara rests on her brow. A steady stream of commoners comes to pay homage, bowing and curtsying enthusiastically. Starlings circle in the dense swarms above her. Refugees from old London are a common sight, although not in such numbers. She ignores everything, and hands you papers so pristine they can only be forged. I'll offer her a berth on your locomotive. She would certainly make an interesting addition to your crew. Welcome aboard, Your Majesty. I am a humble first officer looking for... what's the word? When commoners do things so coin? She asks. Work, that's it. She beams at you delighted, as innocent as a Gatling gun. As she steps aboard, a commoner calmly takes a spoon from his pocket and scoops out his eyes. After such radiance, all else is tawdry, he says between screams. It seems she's already forgotten about her signing on money. Hi. They do just casually drop that line on you, huh? Someone just casually removed their eyeballs in the presence of this person. Sell a bit so we can just gain a bit of money. Do we need to? We don't need to. We might want to. We don't need to. In fact, we'll do it anyway just so we have a little lining our pockets. Yeah, it's been cinematic was crazy good, 4 minute 5, Space Marines fighting Tyranids. Yeah, but isn't that going to be the next Warhammer 40k game? The, Space Marine? Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2? Oh. Oh, plenty of that in that one. Ding ding! The Assembly, a coalition of independent-minded settlers, colloquially called Tacties, gather and argue here. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win a Tacties' favour. Visit Victory Hall, raised in the wake of a blockade of New Winchester, this magnificence of glass and steel houses, the Colonial Assembly. Here, representatives of the independent ports of the Reach gather and quarrel. We'll deliver our port reports to the Indurate veteran. Her tireless exertions during the blockade earned her both a seat on the Assembly and enemies in London. She likes to keep abreast of events. She listens with a scowl. Well, I'd rather know than not, I suppose. Thank you for bringing this to me, rather than the bloody stovepipes. I'll arrange a gratuity. Seems like it'll release around the same time as the board game. 10th ed. No one plays Warhammer, they just paint. Any rumors about people actually playing Warhammer is completely false. It's all a rumor made up by Big Warhammer. $40,000 people watched the stream last night. Them's rookie numbers. See how many people watched the German Christmas event. Looks like our fuel efficiency is kind of terrible. Which I don't think it should be. We shouldn't be weighed down so already. Oh, the terrain is not supposed to do that. This is new to me. Usually you're able to wrap around like that. I guess that's what you get for RNG, I suppose. Okay. Are you a normal Tackety? Oh, you're normal. Come on. And... oh. Oh. Stop dodging death. At the hold, a distressingly odoured barrel. No one's keen to get close. Oh, just feel. The lid is gingerly removed. All breathe a sigh of relief when Coke is revealed. Black and precious, the captain's truest friend. Okay. How are we doing stats-wise? 25 plus 6, 10 plus 6, 10 plus 4, and 33. Veils is the skill of deceiving and evading. Mirrors is the skill of investigating and deducing. Okay. Skill of confronting and overpowering. Skill of convincing and enduring. Or even. Lies to the east. Get away. Stay the fuck back. Hi, Jay. I'll get right on now. After I'm done broadsiding this asshole. Stretch and posture check? What, you want me to take care of myself or something? Huh? Doink. Okay. Loot the hold, random treasures. An intriguingly bulging sack. How pleasing, it read. Money! Mr. Leggy Lamp, what is it with you and my legs, Cherry? Posture check with some stretch. I used the exercise bike for like half an hour this morning. I got up 5.3 kilometers and apparently I burned a couple calories, but need to do more than that. If I could waste my point, I wouldn't have had to spend them on the self-care redeems. But all point wasting is waste with bites weeb. Lamb shoulder's too bony, but lamb leg, yeah, that's meaty. Listen, if you want my meaty lamb legs, just call me. Newly minted coins fall with a heavy thud from the upended sack. Bright imperial sovereigns, her renewed majesty's many faces gleam up at you. Is her face on the coins? No, we just have that as the symbol of the coins, don't we? Even on this, it's just gold coins. They don't actually have the face on it. You require sacrifices? What does that mean? Don't you two derp at me. Don't you two derp at me right now. Snacks but sacrifices? But you're already a snack. Yep, them's the rains of Port Avon. And up there, that's probably Port Avon itself. A distant nebula shines on this place. Its light as mellow as butter. Ruins Clover Sky. The work of giants. Oh god, that thing's gonna get away from me, huh? Come over here, I want to kill you. I want to end your life for profit. Oh! Get over here. Get the fuck over here. I'm gonna end you. Gone so far off course chasing this thing. This is the sunk cost fallacy and walk. There we go. Take this, you Kent and Kari fuck. The fragments could be a menace to passing engines. Clear it out of the way as a service to other Skyfarers. Lose Terra. That'll be the place there. He wins those? Huh? I'm a Schmeamer. Woolum Schmeamer. Just a little guy. I'm just a little bang dude. Old stones and forgotten ruins lie tumbled across the sky. Today, the sky is cool and blue, as ice is on glass. Close. I'm Shaper. William Shaper. Yeah, I'm William Shaper. Nice. You lashed a piece alongside your engine and set to work with picks and chisels. Soon they have accumulated a bucket full of glittering stones. Ding. Port Avon. Behold a ruin of giants. Gargantuan blocks jigsaw together, furred with moss and whispering with orchards. A bucolic village nestles among them. Smoke coils daintily from the chimneys. A leisurely game of cricket unfolds on the village green. Disembark, a ramshackle dock juts out at the sky. Beside a farmyard, scattered with rusty locomotive parts. Planting, piping, chugging motor with its innards exposed. An oil-faced, black-haired girl waves your locomotive into position. Welcome to Port Avon, she calls as you disembark. A rich knot of scents greets you. Leaves and wood smoke, enriched by an infrequent but pungent intrusion of goat. Port Haven spills, prettily, across sections of colossal drifting ruins. Its orchards bask in the evening gold light of a distant nebula. You weren't sure at first, but the engine noises go hard after a while. Every ship has a different engine sound. And they also all have different horns. Speaking of. A bucolic village nestled with looming pre-human ruins. The dock is a little more than a farmyard. Port Haven's inhabitants quickly tire of visitors, but you may be able to find ways to increase your welcome here before you venture into the village proper. A repentant devil, he is looking for passage. He claims to be useful, he doesn't ask where you're headed. He's repentant, there can be no harm. Welcome aboard, he has very little luggage, a single satchel of books, and a folded greatcoat appear to be his only personal effects. His manner is calm, almost pedantic, as he negotiates his duties and his pay. But you have a sense that he urgently wants to be out of Port Haven. Lolport River, huh? Ruffridge's A Tour of Heaven describes Port Avon's single public house as a welcome respite, justly famed for its authentic Old Earth cider. The locals can be welcoming for a while. You may be able to recruit more crew here. Nowhere in, Port Haven's first public house stands amidst a nodding copse of apple trees. Avon means river? Oh. Makes sense. This place sounds wet. Inside, brass gleams cozily along the beams. Window latches, doorknobs, and other fittings, retrieved from the first locomotives that carried people here. A great polished wheel hangs on one wall. Intercede in a mushroomy meadow. The pub is out of scrumpy. The barman blames a creature, a cross between a mushroom and a jellyfish. It sways in the seat at the bar. Who does that creature belong to? Bellows a man, fuchsia of rage. The Blemmingham, he points at, is a grizzled member of its species, most of whom are left behind and beneath. The fuchsia gentleman roars in fury. Between bellows the truth emerges. The Blemmingham is no one's pet, and far worse, no one will admit responsibility for its tail. But Blemmingham is unconcerned with the tumult. It nods its cap at you with a grim respect, and then flops tendril into a mug of stout. It stares bleakly through the window. I'll settle its bar tab. The Blemmingham is looking to sign on for one last journey. If you settle its bill, it'll join you on your locomotive. As the future gentleman inflates for a particularly prolonged diatribe about ill-mannered captains and their disorderly pets, the Blemmingham climbs to the bar top to consider your face. It likes what it sees. With a sound like a shoe being pulled from a swamp. The Blemmingham finishes its drink. It clambers up your arm until it reaches your shoulder. From where it directs you to the door. Its experience in surviving the cold of the heavens, and the heat of those too cowardly to traverse them. It respects you. It will serve you well. Okay. Look to the short-sighted cryptozoologist. She perched on a stool in the corner, staring at a map of the reach. I could have... No. Must have taken the wrong connection at New Winchester. A tiny figure, weighed down by 2 backpacks and a heavy duffel coat, looks through thick glasses at her map, and then up at you. Excuse me, I need passage. I don't suppose you can help me? I'm on a trail of unusual beasts. I can pay you for your time. Welcome aboard. Where does she need to go? Ibris, beams the short-sighted cryptozoologist. She leans in conspiratorially, knocking over every glass on the table. They say there's a colony of singing Blemminghams now. You know, little mushrooms with teeth. I'm a huge fan of their poetry. I'd love to hear what they sing about. Okay. Last time we played that wasn't where she wanted to go. Head upstairs. The new Somerset Hunting Club has exclusive rights to the rooms above the pub, as well as its finest brandies. Thick cigar smoke curls through the air, filling this private chambers with premium-grade fog. Bloated gentlemen in well-worn military uniforms sit at mahogany tables, sipping port. They chanter of old days and how much better they were. I'd like to request membership into the club. It's a famous club in Old London, home not just to nobles, distinguished soldiers, but ex-ministers, royal courtiers, and other members of high society. A stout veteran gives you a polite once-over. I suppose we could consider you an application. Of course, membership is not a matter of mere money, no. He directs your attention to the trophies. Most are old and musty. Leaf creatures, deer, fox, the bear, all hunted in the members' now long-distant youth. Perhaps if you could help decorate our walls with some impressive local fauna, we can talk matters first to payment, and then membership. Of course, we could hunt all these beasties ourselves, and we will. But I find out we will. But the fire is so warm. There's port left in our bottle. Okay. Easily done. Let's check out the Cyclopean ruins. What palace was this? What giant king made his home here? And why did he abandon the vast stores of souls that the locals still quarry from beneath the stones? Oh, actually, while I'm here, we should buy those seeds. The floor of the reach is dangerously thickened. Plant a seed, water it, give it a little light, and it'll sprout overnight. During transport, it's vital that snacks be stored in a cool, dark, dry place, or your hold is likely to become an impromptu to shrubbery. Yeah. The ruins. Now, one of the looming stones is quite square, yet they all slot together immaculately. What were these ruins before their fall? Even their bones are tall and stately, the finest cathedrals of old France. What purpose did they serve in the past? Plentiful days when the sun still shone. Exits here will wear out your consequences. Bells gives us a 66% chance to mine the area, but I'm not too interested. Port Avon will write a port report. It spills prettily across sections of colossal drifting ruins, its orchards bask in the evening gold light of a distant nebula. The locals are willing to update you on the news. There's not much to share. Were it not for talk of smugglers and sky beasts, you could easily confuse this place for a village, on the world you left behind. It's quite peaceful here. Apart from some fuss over a newspaper delivery, villagers frown and change the subject when you ask about it. Okay. Well, thanks for the welcome. Let's not wear it out. Oh, an incident with the repentant devil. Your newly acquired repentant devil is standing most unrepentantly over a body in the hallway. Inspect the deceased. You don't recognize him. You haven't seen this person before. One of your crew, but the deceased is no one you know. A stranger on your locomotive. Here are your luggage you brought on board, says one of the crew. When some others have gathered. Wouldn't have thought it would fit in your little bag. First, clean up. It won't do to have a body in the hall. Then your repentant devil can explain himself. He's still got the blood on his cuffs. He looks younger than most devils, but he's significantly older. His gaze is blank and yellow, a wall against speculation. He grooms his sideburns artfully, and knows how to be tactful with less seasoned members of the crew. Let's go about the recently departed. Officers who generate corpses on your locomotive are a liability. He was a stowaway, explains the devil indifferently. He's been stalking me for more than a month. I thought I'd lost him when I came aboard. Then he turned up in my quarters. From the body, he has lifted a clinking bag of souls. Perhaps he was sent to bribe me rather than kill me. He tilts his head to consider a soul collection. Apparently he thinks I'm a cheap hire, if so. The devil's gaze reverts to you. I regret to say this. This is probably not the last time this happens. I may be destined to attract negative attention. Oh well. See how that quest progresses. There is a very good point to doing the quests in this game. Oh, we never got the ruins. The Cyclopean ruins. But the village green and nowhere in. Or even in general, but not the ruins. Yeah, there's usually two outcomes that can happen to either quest. Depending on whatever choices you make. Okay. We have our trading opportunity back from Magdalene's. We shall slowly make our way there. Speaking of, how's our stats looking with a new crew? Oh, it's incredible. That's a very good stat block. It's very sufficient, honestly. The only member of the crew that we're missing is a quartermaster. And if I remember correctly, one of the quartermasters you can get is a clayman, and the other quartermaster you can get is your aunt. You'll see what I mean later. Sorry, I was paying attention to my cat. She was being cute. Unlike Alia, where she wasn't. It'll pick create munitions. That'll be useful if we ever get a quest to find a munitions depot. But not find a munitions depot. To deposit munitions somewhere. Hi, New Winchester. I'm back. Okay. Explore the city, maybe? Oh yeah, search for the amiable host's identity. A titan of industry, those are rare outside of Albion. The initial search is fruitless. People giggle at the antiquated fashion on display in the daguerreotype. The tilt of the jaw of an unfortunate arrangement of hair. But the proprietor of the round table seems to recognize the face. Oh yeah, right side he was. She also lock it up. To catch falling starlight through the window. Want to open a factory here a few years back. Something went wrong. Workers' revolt, not been seen since. Interesting. Absolutely nothing to do with me. Doop doop. We should go around the outside. See what happens. Every good captain at some point in their lives has said YOLO. I don't think there's ever been a good captain that said YOLO. Okay. Is that long knuckle pass on my left there? Yes, it is. And we're going to pass it. Probably tag it for funnies. Come on. See what I mean now about having to explore locations like really thoroughly like this? Then just give it to me. Okay. Keep close to the rocks. So that in case any of these things are things, well, no. Putting this baby into drift and just nyum. Alrighty. What are we doing with our officers? I imagine we won't be able to speak to the incognito princess. From the tiara-crested brow downwards, there is nothing about the incognito princess, but is not incandescent. She is like the sun, and about as dangerous to anything in the vicinity. Wherever the princess goes, she looks around with a surplus of curiosity and a complete lack of care. We would need a sky story. For the devil, we would need honey and tea. For the mascot, your Blemigan Voyager perches on the back of a chair on the bridge. It's gazing through one of the stained glass windows. Is it bored, awestruck, searching for something? Odd for Blemigan. Its focus is elsewhere. You're sure to startle it. Just as your hand closes under Blemigan, it reaches its tendril out and gently bats your arm away. None of that, it conveys. It hasn't even turned to face you. Good talk. I haven't ever managed to complete one of the quests in this game for officers, because it really takes you far out. Like, I don't just mean far out, I mean one of the other realms, Albion, Lutheria. A hush falls over your locomotive. One of your crew moved their cap in remembrance of those who died in this span of the sky. Charming. A lot more ships. Sorry, a lot less ships than the last time we played. I can live with it, but I do like to pick fights. It's simply the way I play this game. There are only a few negative consequences to destroying people. Can't wait to see what it's like when we go to Albion and we get to truly experience that place for what it is. What's the name for when humans build something incredibly extreme and excessive, almost eldritch in nature, that serves a purpose? I remember there was a specific word I learned and I seem to have now unlearned it. Oh! Wind! The peacock wind delivers its bounty. Your supplies burst into new sickly sweet growth. Some of them also wail as they go into the pot. Weird. Yes, you can hover into the whisper winds, and it does grow your supplies, but it also grows your terror, so I wouldn't. Okay. Oh, the keepsake market. An illicit stall has been set up near the port. The doctors and nurses of Magdalene's sell off the property of captains in their care who require extensive stays. Otherworldly artifact, recruit crew. I'll wait a time with other captains. You need 50 sovereigns? Ugh. Thanks. Also, Bazaar will sell the seeds. And you will have smiles. Just what we needed. Although I must admit, I do miss roses, and lilies, and bluebells. Still, the celestial blooms have been their own virtues. Some of them weep, you know. He pays you a generous gratuity. There we go. Turn around. One more thing here. Shops. Keeps up with some more fuel. And supplies. Like to go around this rock and sort of like fill the map out a bit. We don't have anything particularly on for a minute or so. So we may as well go up and around. See what's in the furthest out wilderness. Ideally, you want to explore the outer wilderness with a much better engine. It could just make the journey better. Fuel efficiency. Do need to worry about that. Frosty up here. I hope we don't run into any... Oh. An argument breaks out between two crewmen. One owes the other money, but cannot repay it. Unfortunately, Videp was sworn in the name of the borrower below, a roving god of the deep skies and a keeper of compacts. The borrower has a low opinion of oathbreakers, your crew muttered darkly. They fear this will bring them bad luck. I'll banish the oathbreaker. Cast on not removing him will please the crew. For now, you order him confined to quarters, as much for his own safety as for punishment. You leave him at the next station. His remaining friends are sullen. Most of the crew are glad to be rid of him. Knowing the sort of game this is, it would absolutely punish me by just dropping an actual Eldritch God on me, guys. Handsome Kari. Easy prey. Let's collect a trophy. The new Somerset Hunting Club will be pleased. The crew set about to greet you with hacksaws while the quartermaster prepares a board. The hunting club will no doubt wish to replace it with something finer in mahogany or bronzewood, but this will do for the moment. Huh? It's a new symbol, huh? Horror? Why the hell would I go to a horror? Bye. I'm closer. It hit the wall and died. Prize precious stones from its carapace. I just noticed a crew count go down. Your efforts yield only modest results before a violent shudder wrecks the beast. Two plates of carapace grind together. Crewman's hand was between them. His scream is thin in the halls of the sky. He'll get better. They never get better. If a crew member gets injured, it's usually just a they're dead. Uh-oh. Fire. There we go. We leveled up from there. Cool. That was a new type of Kenton Kari. I will take... Let's take some iron. It was an attempt on my life. There's a bullet scar beside your heart. You've learned since then to be more judicious of your choice of friends. There you go. A bit more strength cannot do us any wrong. Chisel precious stones from its carapace. A bull Kenton Kari. The bull was king of its kind, an isopod with dimensions of an elephant, sheathed in layer upon layer of semi-calcified armor plates, all wrapped around the temperament of an embittered badger. Now it's a ruin of muscle and shell. I'll take the money. The bull's outer layers are encrusted with stone from their long slumbering in the crust of the dying world. In places, it's traced with shimmering veins of mineral. You and the crew chip chunks of gleaming stones from the shell. Some shines like quartz, some glistens, banded like tiger's eyes. Some is deep and solemn and polished jade. Okay. April the 15th, 1905. Certainly ain't, but whatever. The Isambard line was once meant to pass this way. An incomplete accelerator rail is here. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like one of those cool sci-fi concepts. I'll stay with that one paradox that explains why human beings shouldn't be the only ones in a universe or something. I don't know. It might be worth it to bring mining supplies on board the ship, but it probably won't. If I've learned from this game. Oh well. Can't mine. That's a real shame. Maybe it would be worth it. Just noticing my mouth not moving because I'm not opening it much, which is kind of silly. I was looking in the files for that earlier. I'm gently opening my mouth just a little bit and the thing doesn't move properly. It's worrying to say the least. But right now I'm just talking normally, but like I'm not moving my lips much and it just doesn't do anything. I like fully open my mouth. It's not tracking anything I'm saying, it's just looking for movement to be above. There. I'm gonna like, actually fully open my mouth to talk, which is stupid. Hello again, Magdalens. Still have a market open, I'd like to recruit crew. And 2 crew members welcome aboard. Their old captain is being treated. They find themselves stuck here indefinitely. The new crew shuffle aboard and pick their bunks, leaving their old captain in the caring hands of Magdalen's finest. It is technically desertion, but the kind that few will object to. If you can alter the sensitivity, I certainly can, but the thing is, I was looking at the levels earlier, it only detects a 0.3 when I have my mouth open slightly. And a 0.3 is not good enough, that's like low level. Which means that it's genuinely the camera and AI that's not tracking the mouth moving properly. Which shouldn't be, because I've got a nice Logitech. No, I guess that's why everyone says that iPhone tracking is superior. Must be some truth to what they're saying. Do I actually have something to treat my terrors just in case? Yes. Yes, we do. Go find out what horrors lie out there in the void. That's good for us. Chugga 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 choo choo. Okay, what's the horror out here? Be nice and show it to me. Mine is dug too deep in this world, disturbing a disgruntlement of Kent and Kari. The plural for Kent and Kari is a disgruntlement. Will Kent and Kari defeated? Get me the sovereigns. The War of Fossils. When settlers arrived in the Reach, miners flocked to this frozen rock, lured by the promise of hours stored in its core. An eruption of Kent and Kari has left it in its current mangled state. A makeshift graveyard stands in the lip of a rock, a memorial and a warning. Pay your respects, light the lanterns. Lanterns doused by the sleep mark, the ramshackle graves. Relighting them would commemorate the dead, but might disturb any Kent and Kari that still slumber here. It wasn't good. Once every grave had a lantern, now most are lost or stolen. Your crew searched through the drifts of muddy sleep, and beneath mangled mining wreckage to replace what they can. In the dim light, your strokers struggle with tinder and oil. The cold is fierce and chills the fingers to bone. Eventually, matches strike. A thin string of light washes over the graves. But you've lingered too long. The ground begins to quake. The Kantankari star. Well, groaning Kantankari pour from the fissure in the rock. Stunted, half-blinded, and irritable from their long sleep, they thrash across the surface, crushing graves and battering the rusting equipment to fragments. Stand firm. You give them hell. The air sizzles with the stink of burning Kantankari flesh, and you slip into pools of charred-up mud and Kantankari effluvia. Eventually, the last of the Kantankari slips back into the earth. But cheers a few. There will be more bodies for the graveyard. An accident in the hold. Your crew, undermanned and overworked, are struggling. One of them has failed to thoroughly secure your cargo. When a boisterous wind rocks your engine, the strap snaps, sending boxes and barrels careening perilously around the hold. Well, get the crew clear until the turbulence has passed, despite the damage to your supplies and cargo. You've lost one supplies, that's fine. You evacuate the hold. You're forced to listen to the contents slide, crash, and splinter. The wind continues to shake your locomotive. Your crew wins. This is the Kantankari's home, which explains how we've been killing so many of them. Disperse the rubble. Listen to its last complaint. We can't afford to lose more crew right now. Its parting grumble is bitter and mournful. Your crew share tales of the Kantankari to distract them from the noise. The Kantankari grumbles at length, in no apparent discomfort until its abrupt final silence. I heard, says a solemn junior signaller, that when their ward was dying they didn't fix it or try and leave. They just burrowed into its crust and slept until the end. Crumbled around them. They woke up among its fragments. A bunch of stupid fucking creatures, then. So what happens when you're next to a horror, the spooky music starts playing? Game gets a bit melodramatic, like, calm down. I'm gonna die. Am I gonna die? Yeah, we're currently below the minimum crew requirement for this thing. Ideally, I want to get back to New Winchester. Maybe I'll push up here to see if we can find poor Albion. I don't remember its name. Fuck, I don't know, Old Winchester. Honk honk. Don't worry about the terror. As long as it's just terror, we're fine. We're not grinned, but we're fine. Fuck you, Bradley Rock. I'll come back here and pay my respects properly one day. Okay. We should be leaving the icy depths here. Should be. Ooh. Is this my with any luck that I was just talking about? Another scarred casualty of the formidable Winchester War. We don't have the crew for this. Leave it untouched, lest the wreck's bad luck is contagious. We gain terror. God motherfucking damn it. Why, you wanna fucking tussle? What look like I'm playing around? Come at me. Look at how much of a failure you is. Okay, loot hold. 2 fuel. Wants me. I'll take it. We are going to push up here. I think it's a right call. It was. Bonk. Boink. 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 Thank God. Why did you just shoot at me? I know you didn't shoot at me, but you did just shoot at me. Son of a prick. You know shit, honk, I just shot you 4 times. By the way, we're in combat. Wake up. Wake up. Integrity. Wake up. One bronzewood. Nice. That's why we always sink tacties. That shit'll fetch me 175 sovereigns back in port. Ah, prophet. The hour of a wolf. It's late, and you're alone. Doubt preys upon you. Is this the path you should have taken? You trespass upon precincts of heaven. What pride will be exacted from you? What price have you already paid? Enjoy this lean, cruel hour. Ugh. Your doubts are hungry tonight. They seize on your past decisions one by one, worrying at each, like wolves at a lamb. Sleep is impossible. When your shift arrives, you rise haggard and unrested. You splash water on your face and wonder what mistakes you will make today. Sounds like every other night. Sound like. Coming. Woo! Your money or your loot. Break the engine's lockbox. It sits on the captain's desk, heavy as a miser's heart. 150 sovereigns. Inside, after some deft work with your bolt cutters, are a series of documents. Crisp, white, ministry-stamped documents. Some are promissory notes. Exchangeable in all reputable ports in the skies. Another is an invitation to the eternal mask on Persians. They're London's finest, well, within a single day. I get to use an invitation to somewhere I don't belong. Ah, here it is. Rumble of far-off refineries. Distant searchlights rake the sky. Port Prosper. That'll help the crew. Queen's Cross Station. Crammed at the feet of a hulking crag, Port Prosper's Little London. Divided into an affluent West End and an impecunious East, Queen's Cross is a busy station, crowded with engines that have arrived through the nearby transit relay of Albion. We could finally deliver the fastidious inspector. She disembarks with her bag in hand and peers up at a clock tower that's being raised above the station. It is tangled with scaffolding and rings with the sound of hammers and the cries of workmen. I will accept our payment. The inspector will depart. Be sure you've held any conversation with her that you wish to. I don't think I can have any other conversations, can I? No. I don't have the ability to re-access it. It's not an item or a possession. Yeah. Thank you, Captain. Here's the balance of our agreement, and as promised, a requisition order for fuel and supplies. She gets another glance at the incomplete clock tower. Given the apparent state of construction, I'd recommend you visit the worksite. Maybe an opportunity there. Thank you for the pleasant conversation, Captain. This guy can be a lonely place. You've enlivened it. I included a small additional sum to your remuneration as a token of my gratitude. Okay. We plan to call it the Albert Club, in memory of the departed Prince Consort. But there's a way to go yet. The roof isn't finished, and the clock neither ticks nor bongs. You can see the fastidious inspector up among the workings, with a spanner and a can of oil, showing the workmen how it's done. She'll ask the horse foreman what they need. Perhaps you can secure it. Rongewood, foreman wheezes bluntly. One consignment. Sell it at Trader's Wood and Polymer in plenties. Oh yeah. Good of course connected to. There's a bunch of worksheet ingredients in each constant shout in it, and my voice is giving up the ghost. Some nectar should have me bellowing again like a champion. Carolyn's your best bet there. Or Titania. Loudtown. Or pay like. Okay. Take your leave. You've other business. Its narrow streets huddle in the shadow of Great Crag. Banners display the stony features of her renewed majesty. Wealthy West Enders strut by, exchanging polite greetings and veiled gossip, while sooty East Enders file to the hour refining factories. Peeling posters promise fresh, wholesome lives in reach with new arrivals. But most of the posters are years old. Most newcomers arrive at Port Prosper. They never leave it. I'll write a report. Very little happens on Port Prosper. Someone might take an interest. The factories continue to belch out smoke, while over the bridge, hopeful crowds gather outside the Admiral Nelson. Lovers can be seen strolling arm in arm along the promenade, a respectable distance from their chaperones. There was a brief protest outside the Winwood Company factory, swiftly quelled. Scones at Nelson were as good as ever, though the piquancy of the gem was less than might be desired. Such for the amiable host's identity. The house might still be here, had purple walls, which would surely stand out. If not, you have the locket. Not Solon Port Prosper recognizes the locket. Who's that then? Does he still wear his hair like that? Fancy. Become familiar refrains. More promising is the house you saw painted in the amiable host's chamber. You locate several candidates, all apparently repainted over the last couple of years. But one is the exact location as in the host's painting. Nobody seems to remember who owned it or why, but apparently it had once been associated with the Parlour of Virtue. established not long after Port Prosper's foundation. Attend a parade. It's apparently the Feast of a Red Saint. Gaudy banners fly over the painted rooftops of Port Prosper. The smog of the East End is hidden away by giant posters displaying dragons in varying degrees of vivisection. The cramped streets are clogged with people. Wealthy West Enders promenade about these amusements, while impoverished East Enders work in the stalls and huddle by the chestnut fires for warmth. The painted dragon pursued by knights is chased through the crowds to a chorus of "Ho for riding." I'll mingle with the East Enders, lurking in the tents or manning the stalls in the side streets, or scowling at the passing gentry. They seem more your level. Oi! A wide-eyed Eastender elbows his comrade, somewhere under his jacket. Who's all this, then? The crowd gathers from out of the shadows. You're subjected to a number of looks that, if not quite filthy, are at least grubby. Eventually, the huddle disappears. The first Eastender extends a thin hand, lined and worn. It's a good sign you wanted to talk to us. Spend the afternoon watching vaudeville players satirize the Red Saint and his dragon. In and out of the wait tent, followed by a hearty supper of roast chestnuts and almost palatable ale down by the station. Apparently it's going to be a grand ball. Let's see. Can't hire on a new crew here, so that's a shame. Ugh. Already doing real bad on fuel right now, huh? Be nice if this place had a bank, but I get it. 4 and 4 is always fine by me. Buying a barrel of unseasoned hours. We'll be able to sell them when we're back. Unless we won't. The parsimonious chairman's offices, the offices of the Windmere Company, on Port Prosper are elegantly appointed, if antiquated. Paintings of old London adorn the walls. The parsimonious chairman has worked for ruthless captains. He sits behind his important mahogany desk, a decanter of brandy at his left hand, and a series of neatly stacked reports on his right. A fire has been lit in the cavernous hearth. It is too warm. He promises an opportunity for profit. He pours brandy into 2 glasses, then produces a ruler to measure the amounts. To business, he smiles, revealing the extensive damage to his teeth. I was a pugilist back in London, young man's game. He stands at the window, watching the starlight bathe the sloping streets of Prosper. This place exists because of constant work, from the politicians who planned it, to the pioneers who built it, to the soldiers who even today defend it from the Tactics. We have need of more such work. Bring me nameplates from Tacti engines. We keep lists. You will be rewarded. I'll accept the offer, but I'm not going to kill any Tactis for you. I kill them for me. Here fills your glasses. Cheers! Your glasses clink, as another wash of heat comes from the hearth. I'm glad that those in the Reach are dedicated to our vision. I got free brandy. Ask about the Albion Transit Relay. The Albion Transit Relay lies in a cul-de-sac close to Port Prosper's dock. The locomotives can secure passage to the far-off territories of Albion, where London lies. Another captain may have useful information about a relay. We'll inquire about passage. Enthusiastic advice. A garrulous captain is delighted to have an excuse to talk. Happy to help, Captain, happy to help. They point down to the docks. There you are, just keep going past the port, can't miss it. If you've good eyes, you might even be able to see it from here. Passage ain't free, mind. You can travel first class if you have a ministry stamp permit, or you can bring a couple of barrels of ours. Travel second class. I'm good. I don't want to go to London. Offer transport to settlers. Explorers, adventurers, pioneers gather here. Freshly arrived from Albion, all awaiting transport further into the Reach. An opportunity to transport a settler. Would-be pioneers clamouring at the station, eager to make their fortunes among the stars. Would you take me to the Leadbeater and Stainrod Nature Reserve? I'd love to see the wilderness from a safe distance. Of course. He breaks off to a handshake to cough into his sleeve. Forgive me. Open new climate will improve me out. Please get me there as fast as possible. I'll pay you well if you do. I don't know where that is. You're going to be sat in my engine for a long time. Moving. Cheaper, I'm going to steal your heart. Don't worry, I'll split the money I get on the black market with you. Oh, hell yeah. I'll probably use it to buy a new heart. I hear those are important. There's the Albion Transit Relay. And there's a rock. Welcome in, Elle. I hope you're having a good day. If you're not having a good day, I hope you're having a nominal day. The bridge's clock chimes twice, quickly. It's close to the Isambard line. Time is devious. Oh, the Isambard line. I know what that is. It's the giant fucking space around the area. I remember. Still feel sickly? I hope it's improving a little bit. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to get involved. Oh, train. An accident in the hold. Get out of there. There go some more supplies. All because I didn't properly man the engine, huh? Don't you shoot at me. Your main problem was you had Her Majesty's in the name. That's why I'm killing you. Not because you personally did anything to offend me. But if you weren't bootlickers, you know, you wouldn't be dead. Oh, this nerd. Hi, son. Oh, man in. I'm sick of coughing when you could be hunk snooing. It really amuses me every time someone says hunk snoo instead of sleeping. Triple locked case. Ba-da-da. Moment of inspiration. And then we train away. Well, that's what trains do. Need more time to dream of cute sheep boys? Hey y'all, what do you mean more time? You're currently using your time to dream about cute sheep boys? Always blows you away that this came out of a web browser attempt at an MMO. I'm just excited to keep seeing what they make out of their games. Ding. I'm going in. I'm going in. I'm going into that shit. Damage is so extensive, the whole chassis is on the verge of collapse. Tread lightly. I'm going in. I would like to have general money, please. Crew quarters. 75 sovereigns. The boarding party hurries back to your locomotive. It's time to watch a crank split and tumble into the sky. Oh, I'm sheeper. I'm sheepy sheeper, and this is sheep. Meh. Guys, if you've been watching the VOD up until this point, make sure to hit a like, comment, and subscribe. This game just made you age? It hit your birthday? What you playing? Oh, the 28th of April? Happy birthday! Or maybe it was the 27th when you said that. I fucking damn it! Go secure that shit. 2 people died! Always gonna have to abandon those supplies in the future, huh? Boy, I am bad fucking captain. I suck at captaining. They should put me in jail for what I done. Unfollowed, unsub, refund requested. Denies. Oh, you want to refund your sub to Busheeper? Okay, let me just process that real quick. Sorry, you're breaking up. Sorry. I mean, look at what I have to go through now just to kill one Techni. It's not the same with all of those crew members dead. How much slower the steam gauge depletes? Boink. Boink. You're fine, Captain. You're still alive, unlike that last one. He didn't die, he got unexisted. Seize cargo. Yes, hey, thanks for the Christ and Nectar. It's me, Skeletor. Beep boop. Visit Victory Hall. Deliver port reports. Leave. This makes you want to play Barotrauma again. Funny you should say that, because Sunless Skies exists. Not Sunless Skies, Sunless Seas exists. Sunless Seas had a DLC for submarines. For those who explore the undersea. Brunswick for Port Avon. Souls for Port Prosper. Alright, now what of these do I have? Okay, good news. No souls. We do got some Bronzewood. 1. Port Avon will pay 5 consignments. Shish. Do you have a gourd of nectar? Don't have any tea caddies. Ever played We Must Go Deeper, Submarine Eldritch Co-op game? No, but I definitely saw it ages ago. Definitely saw that one. I remember because my eyes were locked on it, like, yep. I can see that. And a higher crew. Higher many. Hey, we're back up at workable levels. Don't tell them what happened to the last guys. And where do I find that? Dong. Dong. Interesting. Hecate's fortunes are already very far up. Okay. Dredge is out on the 30th. You're looking forward to a game for a change? What's Dredge? Don't make it these nuts. 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 Okay, can we go to Arkham Engineering and... Lovecraft fishing game nuts? Fuck! Every time. Oh, hell yeah. Well, shit, I kind of really do want to do that, but I couldn't. It's the Britomart. New engine unlocked. With sufficient crew, movement speed is 115%. Boom, baby. I don't need to worry about all of these things. Let's for Wrath of Heaven. I don't need to worry about that. It's silly. Demo was very promising. You'll be streaming it for sure. Heck yeah. Hopefully it won't be like that time you streamed Choo Choo Charles, where you said that it was like a miserable fucking game. I should get an additional cargo bay till. It will make me sad, but how much does this go for? Okay, good. Good, but I'm not selling it. Okay, we'll see how much faster this goes. Oh, we're zooming. Choo Choo Charles is legit only made for janky horror fans. Yeah. Like, I liked the original concept because it played into my almost perfect... You know how everyone has, like, a perfect game in their head? That they're like, if I could, I'd make this, or if this came out, I would never stop playing it. It was almost that for me, because my ideal game is, you're on a train, you upgrade the train. You get to travel around freely. Okay. That's me honking my clown nose. I'm a little clown. Do something about it, Tackety. Doink. Remember you saying it? Since you remember saying you got halfway through planning to make a game like that? Yeah, it's the perfect game idea. You're on a train. I figured out the perfect setting too, right? You're in, like, a futuristic, like, super high-tech city. And you're on a train. And you just get to, like, tell it to go to destinations. And when you get to destinations, you get to loot them. And when you loot them, you can, like, find notes that tell you new destinations to go to and loot. Hello? Skyfarers exposed to the haunting light of the stars are prone to sudden obsessions and erratic behaviors. A junior signaler is discovered in a hold amidst a pile of dissected books. She is cutting out words and grouping them in clusters to represent a new system of linguistic categorization. Narrative is preposterous and inclusive, she informs you. Meaning is only sensible foundation for classification. Examine her arrangement. The words light and law sit side by side. Nearby, conjunction and philosophy, and faction huddle together. Send him back to work. What did you do that for? You heard him back to work. with a carefully stewed mixture of encouragement and chastisement. But their obsession only continues to consume them. They make mistakes, some of which are dangerous, and their persistent oddness unsettles the crew. It's going to be a tower defense train. You added turrets and carriages to as you upgraded. Then you visit new stations. Yeah, that's a cool mechanic too, like you get attacked. You just like pew 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 from the fucking train. Train with guns. Train with guns. Oh my god, train with guns. Not just silly little train with a gun on the back of it, like trains with guns. I remember Choo Choo Charlemagne coming out and like being like, oh wait a minute, this game isn't actually good, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, sorry sheep, and I was like, it's cool, I guess. You're hoping Void Train is decent? Void Train is already out on Epic. Epic Games did that thing that it likes to do where it's like, ahaha, you can only buy the game if you buy it from us. Lol. The settler from Port Prosper staggers onto the bridge, clutching his throat. He appears to be in some distress indeed. Hair sprouts like invasive weed from every follicle in his body, forcing its way out. Huh. Throw him out of the locomotive. His fate was unsettling and decidedly untidy. Everyone bears an expression of the utmost solemnity as you bet the body towards, and swiftly through, the main hatch. A stoker whistles a few tuneless bars of Jerusalem through his teeth. There are sighs of relief once the hatch is closed. The demo had an obnoxious narrator, which is that is the main game, and doesn't have an option to turn them off. Oh, what's the fuck? Don't do that. Fuck Epic exclusivity shit. Yeah. Like, I don't have the hard drive space for this shit. The thing about Epic is they're doing everything to suck up to people, it feels like. Like, we got free games. Haha. You wanna buy our free games? Money. It's like, yeah, not really. Oh, come on, if you download, you get free games. That's cool. Oh, it's just that easy to get rid of Terra. I forgot to read any event. You hope you can turn the narrator's voice down? Yeah. No, Void Train looked nice, but I don't know, I don't think I've ever seen a good game that did that fucking Epic exclusivity shit where they took the deal. It's like, what are the terms of contract when Epic buys exclusivity for your product? Is it that you can't go on Epic? Rate safe. If I don't buy it, it'll be on the Steam sale. Well, if the meme you have where it's just a woman in a cubicle, Steam puts head around the corner and says, "Your new sale's on," the woman's happy, and then Epic says, "Free game," and she screams. Yeah, it's exactly that. I just don't trust Epic. You know what it is? I think it's to do with like the tight knitness of like gaming communities and stuff. Like Steam has had so much chance to establish itself. You know what I'm saying? GOG, that's another one, right? They have had such a really good chance to establish themselves. I'll strip that shit for repairs. Epic Games just made Fortnite and started buying things. You know what I mean? Like the creators of the fucking Funko Pop game. Like, the only way that you can truly reach gamers isn't like, here's a bunch of free games. It isn't like, here's exclusivity, come over here and buy our product. Like, actually try listening to gamers. Establish yourself as, like, a force of video games. Be fucking anything. Remember having to download Steam for Half-Life 2 and oh god, it was bad? So you can't put it on other distribution systems. Okay. It's the establishment of it, but also the vast improvement Steam has made. Yeah, Steam used to be a lot more shit. And the thing is, I was thinking about it yesterday. I always used to complain that Steam never changed. But here's the thing. Why the fuck should Steam put a bunch of stupid, dumb, annoying features onto its app that end up just breaking it or ruining the core experience? They shouldn't. It'll fuck their sales up. And sell. Oh, that's barely profit. I'll keep all of them then. Boop, boop, boop. And I gotta be real quick. I gotta check something out. Strange. I'll... Maybe. I'm still muted. Why didn't you tell me? I'm so tired. I'm probably going to ramp up this portion of the stream here. I think I need to go have like a lunch. And I might be on for a little night stream. Shut the fuck up, Cherry. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Cherry. See you all later. Jerks. I'll try and do a raid. Do we have anyone on the... I wanna... Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. How many times is this, baby? As many as it takes. I love you all. Go give my friend some adoration and love. And sacrifice me to my friend. Honestly, just cheaper. I love you all. Au revoir.